What's up everyone, Stencil Sketches, and today I'm going to be playing Devil May Cry 3 on hard difficulty. This is a new game file, so I have no red orbs, no weapons, no special abilities, completely clean file, but we're going to be playing straight off the bat on hard difficulty. And the reason why I'm doing this is because back when they were making the US release for Devil May Cry, they actually increased the difficulty from normal to hard. So the hard mode in the Japanese version was actually the normal mode in the English version, because apparently game stores in the US, they didn't want people to refund the games after they beat it, so they wanted games that were more difficult. So to comply with those wishes, Capcom ramped up the difficulty by 1, so that's why in the original US version, before it became Special Edition, people were complaining that the game was really hard because, of course, it was on hard mode. We just didn't know that. It was being described as normal, but it was actually hard. And in Devil May Cry, the difficulty an increase in difficulty isn't just about increasing the HP of the enemies. I mean, sure, we did that, but then also the damage that you take is also going to be increased, meaning you don't have as much room for error. Enemy behaviors become more aggressive. They in higher difficulties, they also gain attacks and abilities that they didn't have in lower difficulties, so then there's a lot more things that you need to learn as well.
But in the end,
and also enemies that would be introduced later in the game are introduced earlier on in the game, and that makes it difficult because you'll be fighting them in environments that weren't designed for it, or at the very least, when the enemies were introduced later on in the game, you would be well equipped to fight them at that point in the game, because of course you'd have new weapons, new abilities, more HP, devil trigger, or a bunch of things to help you cope with new enemies, because that's how game design works. You introduce an enemy when, like for example, the Cerberus. They give you the shotgun right before the Cerberus, so you can clear off his ice armor a lot better than the handguns. Things like that. But as you progress, there's going to be a lot more weapons that'll help you deal with late game enemies. But when you're playing in harder difficulties and they introduce them early on, you're not going to have those abilities, you're not going to have those weapons, you're not going to have those options to deal with these things. So let's see how I handle those in this new game file.
Is your name Dante?
I haven't done this since basically the original release back in 2005, so let's see how I cope with that. So let's enjoy the rest of this cutscene.
He sent this invitation for you. Please accept it.
Hello? Hello?
Invitation, huh?
And of course in Devil May Cry 3, gravity plays out a little bit differently than in the other Devil May Crys, especially 4 and 5. I do like the gravity in 4 a lot more. It feels heavier, things are less floaty, but as far as gameplay goes, it's not bad. Devil May Cry 3 has an arcade gravity system. It works for the enemies in the game. It's in the self-contained game, the gravity works. But I just do feel that in Devil May Cry 4, it feels better. It's a lot more smooth, it's a lot lighter, feels a bit more natural, not as floaty, that sort of stuff. How's that for a character introduction? Badass. Alright, so let's go into customize. I'm gonna be playing with Swordmaster the whole way through the game, probably. For this run of the game, I'm probably not going to replay any missions and farm orbs or anything. We're just gonna play every single mission back to back with as little repetition as possible. I mean, of course, if I die, you know, you don't get to keep the red orbs anyway, unless you save mid-game, which we won't be doing. So this is going to be a true new game run. As you can see, Ebony and Ivory and Rebellion, no new weapons. Level 1 style on everything, guns are all level 1, no red orbs. Completely fresh file. So without further ado, let's start this party. Yep. It's really weird to not have Stinger, because obviously it's a gap closer, it's a really useful weapon. You're so used to it, so when you start a fresh file, it feels pretty naked to not be able to, you know, double jump, follow up the Houndbreaker with everything, you know. Yeah, I really need a double jump there. I feel so unsafe right now. Yeah, not being able to follow up the knockback on the Houndbreaker with a Stinger is really painful. And let's do a Devil May Cry 3 exclusive ability, which is to surf on demons. It's too bad there's no other demons to shoot around while I'm doing that, but that's okay. We've got some more coming. I don't think I've gotten hit so far, so that's a good start to this file. And keeping that S rank for more orbs, because I do believe when you kill an enemy while you've got higher rank, you get more orbs out of them when they die. So that's good. So perfect run, I guess. No damage. Not sure about timing though. Not too focused on time. Just gonna have fun, kill everything, try not to die, and we'll see how we do. Because of course the more orbs we get, without repeating and grinding missions, it's going to be really helpful when moving forward. And if you didn't notice, we're using the Devil May Cry 1 costume. We're using the Force Edge instead of the Rebellion. And it's also the coatless version. I do really like that. And eventually, when we end up getting the Devil Trigger, we'll turn into Spada instead of Dante's Devil Trigger. Okay, so we got an A for time, that's okay. Orbs, really good, stylish. I could have done more taunting, I guess, but also I don't have that many moves just yet, so I can't really do better than that, I guess. So yeah, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go, keep going. Obviously, the first thing we're gonna upgrade is Stinger. If I can remember how do we do that. Action. Yep. Definitely need Stinger. And definitely need level 2, but we don't have enough. So we'll get that. Stinger level 2, air hike. And then, you know, we'll see what else we get after that, depending on how we do. I really like what they've done with the writing on Dante in this game. You know, it's completely different from Devil May Cry 1 Dante, completely different from 2. It's a new iteration, and I do like where they've gone with it. He's still a child. He's, you know, he's trying to act cool. He's trying to be edgy, but he's actually a dork, and I absolutely love that. And, you know, he doesn't really cover it up either. You know, he still tries to do all these cool things, and you know, without a doubt, a lot of the times they are really cool. But he has his moments where he's just a total dork, and I do really like that. All right, here we go. Oh, it's so good having Stinger. Nearly got hit. Let's grab this item, whatever it is. Vital Star. Okay. Come on. Okay, let's ride on one of them if I can before they die. Here we go. Come on, here we go. And basically when these red guys, I think they're Lust, Hell Lust, when they go out of screen, they're basically going to hit you. And I think these guys are... I don't actually remember the name that is. Because these are based on the 7 Sins of Hell. I know these blue ones are the Hell Prides. The red ones are the Lust. Which, I guess, kind of makes sense. They lunge at you like a lustful bitch. And let's try doing... I'm gonna try and do a Wild Stomp. It's an ability that you can do... Oh, okay, maybe not this time. It's an ability that you can do when they're on the ground. You mash the square button and you shoot them. And it's a Devil May Cry 3 exclusive ability. It should really return, but you know, whatever. So these guys are Hell Vanguards. It's a mini boss that'll return as an ordinary enemy later on. Pretty easy pattern so far. Very easy to read. You know, they telegraph their attacks really well, so they're not too hard. They do have that double attack that I almost got hit from. But as long as you keep dodging, they shouldn't be a problem, really. Ah, damn it. I tried to do a taunt in there. I got punished for it. Would have been a perfect run, though. Very unfortunate. Bad time to do a taunt. I deserve that. I don't deserve that perfect win. Really unfortunate though. I would have loved to have another S rank straight off the bat at the end of the mission to get Stinger level 2. But who knows, maybe even as an A rank, I can still get Stinger level 2. We'll see. We'll see how the game judges me. If you haven't read the manga to Devil May Cry 3 prequel, I would highly recommend that. You know,
It's been nearly a year since we last.
the writing is a bit different
Where does
from
the time go?
how the personalities of these characters are in Devil May Cry 3. For Dante, at least in particular, Virgil is written pretty much the same, but it explains how Virgil came here and why he's doing what he's doing. He goes around unlocking the seals that Sparta's placed on, I think, some nameless demons, and they gave them the 7 sins of hell for names, and that revived the Teminagru. Something like that. And then Dante fights Alice in Wonderland. He has some sort of... He did have some sort of devil trigger pre-awakened in the manga, but then when it came to the game, he lost that ability or something. Alright, let's see how I did. C for time, understandable. S for orbs, A for style, yeah. Damage, A... Oh, I got an S, that's not bad. Yep, still got a C sass, that's okay. 4,000, I should be able to get Stinger level 2. But that'll be it for this episode of Let's Play Devil May Cry New Game on Hard Mode, and I'll see you at the next episode.